Right. All right. What is up, friends? And welcome to a very special mini episode, I guess you can say, of the 8-Bit Clubhouse pseudo podcast here. My name, of course, is Hambone Johnny, your resident platinum collector, and joining me tonight, as always, is the rootinest, the tootinest co-host the world has ever known, Kevin
Woo!
LA, the
Hey,
Bob Cousy. What's up, buddy?
hey, what's happening? What's happening? I'm excited
yeah.
to be here. RIP Drew. Just playing. Drew's
Yeah.
not here because he's still alive. He doesn't do PlayStation, and there was a state of play today that we're going to talk about. That's why we're here.
Hell yeah,
We're going to just chat about the PlayStations. I wanted to say, first off, we kind of came out with the podcast and said, we're not here to bring you the news, right? We're not here to inform you of what's happening. You've either watched the state of play or you haven't, or you've searched social media. If you're watching this, you probably like video games. You've already watched the state of play, or you've heard it, you've seen it somewhere else. So we're not here just to break down every game and give you all the information that's going on and what everything they released and when it's going to come out, right? We're just going to talk about what we like. Me and Emma and Johnny, we're PlayStation fans right here.
Love it.
So we're here to have fun. We're here for entertainment, not education. We just came here just to have a good time and talk about what we liked. And, we're here to have a good time, baby.
That's it, man. We're just enthusiasts, just like you guys. We're here to have fun. We left Drew on the bench, but that's all right. He can ride the pine for a little bit. And
Yes.
next time there's a Nintendo Direct, he'll be right here with us. So we're just here to have a
Absolutely.
good time and chat it up and get together again, which is I love to always do it, but it's always good to have a reason to get together as well. So
That's right.
Yeah. Kev, first state of play for the year.
All right.
What
Yes.
were your expectations going in? What were you hoping to see, or what were your thoughts before you watched this thing?
My thoughts were like every time we get a state of play or a Nintendo Direct, it's like a mini Christmas, right? It's like opening up presents. We don't know what's going on. I try to stay away from all spoilers or anything. I haven't looked at any social media today, pre state of play or post state of play, to see what people's reactions were. I'm just going off of what I saw, and I got really excited when that was announced. And I love that they just give you like a 2-day notice, right? Nintendo's given their Switch 2 announcement for April 2nd, which is like 3 months away.
Yeah, sitting
but
here
State
waiting.
of Play is like, hey, in 2 days, you get these new games
Yeah.
announced. And it's like, woo, you get super excited, right? I was very excited. So my expectations, I've learned in the past, Hambone Johnny, unfortunately, to keep my expectations low. Right. And that way, anything that happens, I've learned if I keep them low, anything that happens is going to surprise me. Right. And then if you keep them low, everything else is positive. So that's what I've done. I've just went into it thinking there's going to be no VR, thinking there's going to be all the games are going to feature guns or swords, and half of them are going to be first person. So if they announce anything besides those, I'll get excited,
Yeah, well, it sounds like you probably had a lot to get excited for as you were watching it. There were guns,
Right.
there were swords, there were first
There
person
were.
things, of course, but I think there was a lot more. And I think you're very wise in your assessment of how you're looking at this thing, right? As we get older, we get wiser, and we are very wise these days. So yeah, definitely, I love these. The Xbox Developer Direct that was a few weeks ago, it was awesome to see that. I really like the way that they do things. PlayStation takes a different tact. Nintendo's telling you that they're going to have a Direct like 4 years from now. Whatever. I love it all, man. Give it to me all. So I hope
Yeah.
to do a lot more of these as events come up throughout the year, Summer Games Fest, whatever, so we can just get together and kind of break it down, man.
What were your expectations?
Very low. I was hoping to see Ghost of Yote. But since
yeah.
we didn't, I guess we'll hear more about that later this year. So I was a little disappointed that we didn't see that. But the way that they framed it up, I think they were saying, we're going to show you 40 minutes of very interesting and creative games. So I'm like, they're not saying, hey, we're going to show you 40 minutes of PlayStation first party games. So
Right.
with that, I was like,
Yeah.
all right, well, what?
Yeah.
Let's see what they show us, right? Trying to keep my expectations low, just like yourself, and take what they
Yeah.
give us.
Yeah, and I've liked that these companies too have started putting out these almost press announcements before the direct or
Mhm.
the state of play, saying, "Here's what to expect." Okay, don't get your willies in a wad here. We're just expect some. This isn't gonna be all first party stuff. We're not gonna announce new hardware. Or they'd say that in the
Yep.
preview. So I like that they've kind of started giving a little hint of what's to come.
Absolutely, man. So if you had to give this show a letter grade,
Mm-hmm.
F to A, where did you land on it?
I'm usually pretty positive with my letter grades, right? I usually do pretty good. I'd say a solid B, I think. There wasn't a ton for me here, but I can see the appeal of a lot of it. And
Yeah.
I've got down here 25 announcements. I think a couple of those were like sizzle reels
Yep.
or like several announcements into one, but 25 like main hitters. So that's a lot for 40 minutes. So I'm definitely, yeah, I think a solid B for me. How about you?
Yeah, I'm actually right there with you. I think there was a lot to like, maybe not a lot to love. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of things I think I'll probably end up play at some point. Might not be, first day on all these things. But then a lot that I'm kind of watching. Let's see what the reviews come in, and things that don't quite have a date yet. Let's just there'll be another trailer at some point. So wait and see with
Right.
a couple of these things.
Yeah.
So yeah, so all in all, pretty good. Um,
Yeah.
so how I was thinking we do this now is just kind of, like you said, there was 25, 30 announcements. There's a ton here. We're not trying to break it all down for you guys. You've seen it. We're just going to talk about things that we liked. So Kev, I guess I'll go to you first from your
Okay.
list of 25. Tell me
Right.
one of the games that you that you were interested in.
Just right off the bat, the Monster Hunter Wilds started off was I've never played a Monster Hunter game, but I want to. It seems like it's a game that I would like to play as long as it doesn't get too RPG crazy. Like I want more action, less RPG in those. I want to go out and fight the monsters. I don't want to just build my character for 2 hours.
Yeah.
But it looked amazing. So I don't know. I might give that I don't know. I probably won't give that a try, to be honest with you, but it looks great. But the first one that I was really interested in was the Shinobi game.
Yeah.
It looks like old school Ninja Gaiden. Yeah, I'm all in on that. It's from the makers of Streets of Rage 4, which I've had on my Switch and my PlayStation for multiple years, but still haven't fired it up. But I got to get on that. Shinobi, though. Shinobi. Didn't it look cool?
It looked really cool, man. You know what it reminded me of with some of the enemy sort of explosions or sort of the reactions and how you're moving around the world. It looked a lot like Nine Souls to me, to be honest with you.
Ah, yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. I
yeah,
can
so
see that.
I am really curious if this is going to be like a really difficult game or if it's going to be more like beat 'em up, like a Streets of Rage
Mm.
type of game. So I've got my eye on this one as well. August 29th. I didn't have anything slated for August, so this one is certainly high on my list for sure.
All
Yeah,
right.
Shinobi Art of Vengeance. Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm in on that one.
So
What do you got?
yeah, so I'd say the first one that I highlighted on my list, just going chronologically, is the Like of Dragon Pirate in Hawaii game. So I've never
Hmm.
played any of the Yakuzas. I played maybe an hour of Like a Dragon, um, but they said there's a demo this Friday, and I was like, oh, maybe
I
I'll
didn't
just
hear that. Yeah.
pop in, check it out. There's ship
Yeah.
combat. There's like fighting. I don't know. I'm probably not going to get as much out of it, not knowing all the backstory and everything with these characters. But hey, man, it seemed like it was going to be fun. And if there's something to play, it's coming out at the end of this month, February 21st. The full game launches. Maybe I'll keep my eye on it. Again, probably not something I'll play day one. But hey, looks like it could be a good time.
You should try the demo and see if you like it. That's what demos are for, right? And then let us know. We got to find out if it's a
Yeah,
Hambone Johnny game. I'm surprised that you haven't played those games. Actually, I would think that those were more up your alley,
they
especially
are.
with Dan to Dan.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Did you see Dan to Dan yet? I gotta make you watch the
No.
first. I gotta have you and Drew watch the first episode and just tell me what your thoughts are. It's weird as hell. But you're absolutely right. The Yakuza games and Like a Dragon right up my alley. It's
Yeah.
certainly on my backlog here. So that's number one for me. How about you, man? What's next on your side?
Oh, let's see here. You know what? I used to love those old school wrestling games. I'm figuring out the streaming. I might actually try to stream some of those N64 wrestling games. But I haven't played any of the new ones. But that 2K25 with the island update, I thought looked interesting.
Yeah,
I thought
that's
it
fun.
had potential. I mean, it adds something different to just the normal, wrestling game. It gives you kind of a place, a hub to mill around with 50 other like-minded nerds like yourself, to where you can show off your belts over your shoulders. But it kind of piqued my interest. Those games usually hit on PlayStation Plus at some point, so I may check that out.
Yeah, you know what? I'm kind of right there with you. I haven't played any of the new games. I loved WrestleMania 2000 and those
Hmm.
N64 games back in the day.
Yeah.
But yeah, quick aside. So I'm in a bunch of fantasy football leagues with my different
How
friend
many?
groups and whatnot. This year I did 6, so
Holy moly,
plenty.
Hambone Johnny!
But one of the ones that I do with some of my friends from back home, just like 10-person league, we all throw $20 in on it, and it's just like whatever. It's an excuse to get together and hang out for one Sunday. But how we do it is we always do a unique way to pick the draft order every year. And the last 2 years, my one buddy who's super into WWE creates a WWE superstar for each one of us, everybody in the draft, so we all look like somebody different, and he sets it to just auto play, and it's a Royal Rumble. And
Oh, that's so
it's
cool.
awesome, dude. It's so cool, and everybody runs out and they're cheering. It's like, oh, come on, like, who's it gonna be next? And it's Hambone with the fucking pig mask coming
Yeah.
out or whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
like,
that's
oh,
so
it's
fun.
Hambone. Yeah, dude, it's super fun.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
yeah,
that's
man, those games
great.
look like a blast. I wish I was into them more. But yeah, who knows? That one looks cool.
Yeah.
So the
Yeah.
next one I had on my list over here, I think every time we get together, I talk about it, man. But Split Fiction, dude, like,
Right.
come on. Did this trailer do anything more for you? I know last couple times maybe you're a little hesitant on it. An EA game, not too sure, but did this one turn you on at all?
I think it looked the part, right? I don't want it to dive too much into story. It looks like it could be slowed down with too much narrative.
Yep.
So as long as they keep it moving, I think it'll hit. But they've shown a lot of chit chatter on their previews. So I'm cautiously optimistic. I think I said that last time, but I still am.
Yeah,
How about
no,
you?
that's fair. Nah, man, I'm super pumped about this. I know, you and I'm gonna try to pull you in. I'm gonna buy it regardless, so you can just kind of come along for the ride if you like to try it a little bit. So that's no problem there. But
And it's soon, right? It's
dude, it's
March
March
6th.
6th. Yeah, it's right
Yeah.
around the corner. But my son is actually
Yeah.
he's been seeing clips of it on YouTube, and he's like, "Dad, could we play that together?" And I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I hope. I don't know, like what it's going to be rated or whatnot. It certainly doesn't seem like it's going to be M rated. But if it's teen, I might let him give it a go with
Yeah.
me and see if we can run it together. But I'm right there with you, man. It seems like it could have. I mean, narrative wise, it could be interesting. I think they were talking about one of the characters like dads, and they were writing a story about him, or like, hey, that girl and her sister was, referenced as in another part. So,
Yeah.
as long as it's not too heavy on that,
Right.
but like It Takes Two, man, and mixing up the action every different chapter and
That
new
was cool.
powers to use, yeah. So if it does anything like that, I'm very excited for that game.
Yeah. From what I gathered, they're both authors that are writing different stories, and maybe they converge in some way, and you're playing through each one of them's story, kind of.
Yeah, I
That's
think
kind of what I was
you're
catching.
you're spot on, right? So it's one author is more of like a fantasy author, the other one's more sci-fi. So you're gonna
Mm,
bounce chapter to chapter is gonna be like, hey, maybe you're riding a dragon one time and then you're riding like Tron bikes like the next or
yeah.
whatever, that kind of thing. And they both get sucked into their story world by some reason, whatever. Who cares how they get there? It just looks like it's gonna be fun.
Right.
All right, brother.
Yeah, I'm
What's
down.
next on your end?
There were several games that looked cool next. That Directive 8020 was really pretty.
Yeah.
A little scary sci-fi game. I've never been a Five Nights at Freddy's guy. The Midnight Walk looked really cool, amazing graphics. It was a little too much for me.
Yeah.
Darwin's Paradox, man. As soon as the freaking octopus came on the
Octopus showed
screen,
up.
I'm like, so as soon as I see an octopus, I'm in, right? All it takes is a sea creature and just sign me up right
That's
there
it,
with Endless
man.
Ocean.
Oh, I saw
And
that. I
plus,
was
it
like,
kind of
that's a
looked like
koozie game.
yeah, for sure. A little platforming action. The thing was like changing colors and hiding and moving around and shooting ink. And it was, no swords, no guns, right up my alley. I would have bought, had they said it came out today, I would have paid for it. But they just gave a generic 2025 release date. So
Yeah.
I'll get that. I'll probably get that day one.
That's on my list too.
Depending on price.
Yeah, me too, man. I'm super pumped for that one. It looks they didn't really show much of it. I don't know how much you can show. It seemed like it was
Right.
going to be platforming and maybe
Sure.
some light puzzling and that kind of stuff. But it looks fun, dude. It looks super fun. But
I know,
I'm
right?
there with
It
you on-
does.
yeah, on Midnight Walk as well. What I thought was cool about that is that it is a PSVR 2 compatible game.
Ooh, I didn't
So,
see that.
Yeah. So
That
looks
might
pretty
draw me in there.
Yeah. So I'm not big on horror either, but the
Right.
art style was super cool. Like PSVR 2, hey, maybe there's something to play there.
Yeah.
One that I had on my side here that's sort of wait and see, and I've never played any of the originals, is the new Onimusha game that's coming out next year.
Right.
Samurai game, third person, seems maybe Souls light ish. I'm not sure exactly how the combat's going to be. But what I guess I wasn't expecting to see in that trailer was some like bits of humor. Like, yeah, I don't know. Like he was like talking smack to the big group of ninjas that was coming at him. And then he was like, "Oh, better run! I'm out of here." And I was like, "Oh,
Yeah,
I
I
wasn't
saw
really
that.
expecting to see that."
I wasn't either. Yeah.
Aspect of it. So I don't know. It's sort of a wait and see. I've got to learn more. It's a 2026 game, but yeah, we'll see.
It's funny because they showed the remake of the Onimusha 2 first. I thought it looked really clunky and kind of slow, although the graphics looked better. But then they showed the new one, and my daughter came in and she was like, "That looks really slow on the new one." And I'm like,
Huh.
"Yeah, I guess
Yeah.
compared to some of the quicker combat, it was more, he was kind of taking on each enemy like
Yeah, like one at a time type of
one
thing.
at a time.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what she meant, but when she said that, it kind of stuck in my head. But it did look cool,
Yeah.
and I mean, who doesn't love? There's a ton of samurai games out there, though.
Yeah, it's a sword game. I don't know if it's a koozie game. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
that
probably
was a
not.
very astute observation by your daughter, right? Because I think that's where
Right.
I got the Souls-like element of it. I'm like, oh, it isn't like a big hack and slash game like Ninja Gaiden just was that I played, right? Where you're just kind of running around hitting everything and you're not really locking on to an enemy. Whereas Souls is generally a little bit more plotting. You're locking on to one enemy, trying to take them on to move on to the next. So we'll see.
Yeah. I thought Metal Gear Solid looked like a movie. It looked so cool. I'm not going to play it, but it looked really cool.
Yeah.
The Hell Is Us I couldn't even keep up with that. That was way too much information for my brain. There was too much going on. Maybe I'm old. Maybe I'm just not into that kind of stuff, but it was a little much for me. But
I'm out
then
on
then it was Liza P, right? Tell me about that.
Oh man, this was the highlight of the show for me. You know how much I love
knew
the
it.
P. Oh my god,
When
dude.
I heard the lady say something about what kind of puppet are you or something like that, and I was like, "Oh, is this what I think it is?" And
It
it's
is.
funny because I have down here in the notes, this is a Hambone game. I wrote that before they even said this was Liza P. So I had no idea what it was. I was like, "Hambone's gonna love
Man.
this game." Then they're like Liza P, and I was like, "Of course he does."
Oh, dude, you got me pegged perfectly. Yeah, dude. So, you weren't sure what it was until they said the puppet thing, dude. The second they put that on the screen, I was like, "Oh, it's Liza P!" Immediately, I knew it
that's
from
cool.
from the art style, and then even the way like the music was hitting. So I did a little bit of digging on this one. I went on X, following the state of play, and I don't know if it's the director or some sort of lead on the game, posted something, like a couple paragraphs on X in a statement. So basically, the setup of this game is that it's a you go back in time to the before the events of the original Lies of P. So this is a DLC, Lies of P: The Overture, and I definitely saw bits and pieces of different NPCs and other characters, and even some characters you've just heard about in the base game are showing up here in the game. The guy with the dog mask, I think, is going to
Mhm.
be Alidoro. So whoever, if you guys have played that, I'm pretty sure that's who that's going to be. He's somebody who gets murdered in the first game before the game even starts. So to see him show up, that's going to be pretty cool. There's a ton of bosses which look pretty bad. The like priest that's just getting covered in wax or whatever that was. I was like,
Yeah,
oh
yeah.
man, a bunch of badass stuff going on. And pretty much this is going to be the lead up to when everything goes to shit in the Lies of P game. So I'm
Right.
extremely excited. This is an amazing game. If you guys are into Elden Ring, if you're into any sort of Souls game, like this is a must play. One of the best Souls non FromSoft games for sure.
Okay.
No
Did you know this was
octopus.
coming?
Yes, yeah, I did know this was coming. I didn't
Okay.
know what it was called, but they have been chatting about um, a DLC, and there's also I think supposed to be a sequel in the works as well. I'm not sure if it's a Pinocchio style sequel. They do a really cool hint to some other folklore at the end of Lies of P. So I don't want to spoil it for anybody who hasn't played because it's such a cool revelation. But yeah, there's more Lies of P universe to come, and our first taste of this is going to be this summer. So I'm super pumped for that.
Nice. Next, they showed Dreams of Another. I loved this. I love the art style. The gameplay looks good. I like that third person kind of take on things. And then they said that it was PSVR compatible, so that was an extra bonus for me. I didn't really get what the gameplay. They said something about destroy to build, like you had to destroy things in order to build things. So
Yeah,
I'm not really sure what the gameplay is. He punched a clown and like pieces of the clown were flying everywhere.
yeah,
And
I saw that.
I don't know. I just thought it looked I really
Yeah,
liked the artwork in that game, and that's what stuck with me there. So I'll probably try that.
I'm very intrigued about that one as well,
Yeah.
specifically for that PSVR aspect of it.
Right.
Really striking art style. I thought, I gathered the same thing that you did around like you need to destroy to create, and they were like giving a lot of like one-liners, like really insightful, like artsy type
Yeah.
of comments. I was like, all right, like I'm not really sure what the hell is going on, but it looks
Right.
cool as shit. So like
Yeah.
maybe I'm in or maybe I'm not. I definitely have to
Right.
see more, but yeah, it looks
Yeah.
awesome.
Did you see a release date on that? Do you have something?
Just 2025 is what I've
Oh,
got
okay.
here.
Okay.
Have you played Days Gone?
No, I was going to ask you the same thing, and I
I have
figured you
not.
had. That's
No.
PlayStation. It's first party, isn't it?
Yeah, it's Bend Studios
Yeah,
is the
that's right.
Days Gone.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming they're doing the remastered. I didn't see what studio was on that or not, but yeah, I didn't play this one. Our buddy Solo, I know, played it this past year, and
Mm,
he said good things about that. But yeah, I've never played Days Gone. I'm not a huge zombie guy, to be honest with you.
yeah.
It's got to take
Yeah.
me a little bit of something extra. Like I don't. It's bad to say, but I don't love The Last of Us. It's not my favorite. I
Cool.
think it's a really good narrative, but like I
Right.
wish it wasn't zombies kind of. Um
Yeah.
but
I
yeah,
can
I don't
see
know what it
that.
is about that, but I mean it
Yeah.
looks cool. I'm probably not going to get it because I never bought the PS4 version, so I'm not in for that $10 upgrade. It's going to be full price. So it's really going to have to either be on sale or some other way for me to play that at some point, but
Yeah.
I'm probably out, but I'll watch it. Maybe you can pull me in at some point.
Yeah. Those it said that the Jedi Survivor was coming out on PS Plus. You played those Jedi games.
I
Remind me
did.
which I'm going to write this down actually as you tell me. Which order do I play those games in?
So you play Jedi Fallen Order first.
Yep.
That's the
All
first in the
right.
timeline, and then it's Jedi Survivor. And I think Fallen Order, if it's not on PS Plus or Game Pass or anything, it's on sale for like $5 all the time. It's like dirt cheap. And even Jedi
Yeah,
Survivor's been on
I've
sale
got
a
them.
ton.
I've got them both, I think, already.
Yeah. Yeah. I
But
think it was a
yeah,
PS Plus like essential game at some point. But yeah, man. Those are awesome third person games. Really good Star Wars stories. I think the Star Wars universe has been kind of oversaturated over the last number of years since like the Disney acquisition and after the Mandalorian, I kind of fell off a lot of that side stuff outside the movies. Um, but yeah, man, the Jedi Survivor and Fallen Order games are so good. The story of Cal Kestis and his struggles and how he develops as a Jedi and how he just all the issues that he deals with and the people he meets. Really, really good stories. Super fun gameplay too. I loved Survivor. It did some awesome stuff with some like traversal, like mini challenges and those sorts of things. There's almost like little like uh to relate it to like Zelda, like little shrines, like little like challenge shrines that you would go to. They'd either be like combat or traversal. So it had a good mix of gameplay and exploration, and the base narrative was really good too. Probably something take you a little bit more than 10 hours to beat, but yeah,
right.
really good game.
Is if the game plays good, I'm in for more than that.
Yeah,
So
yeah, definitely worth a look. The maps still kind of suck, but is what it is. If that's the worst thing about the game, it's no big deal.
right.
Are you in on this Lost Records Blue and Rage game?
You know what? That when I saw that, I was like, that is a John Blanco game.
Absolutely. I think that's his most
It's
hyped game
just
for the year.
has he said that?
I think he has, yeah.
As soon as I saw it, I was like, a bunch of girls like taking pictures and walking through the woods. That's definitely his genre. So no, I'm not into that, man. I don't know. Those Life is Strange games, they moved way too slow for me, and I just
Yeah.
didn't. I need a little more quick.
You need
A to B.
more octopus, less pictures.
More octopus, less girls with Polaroids. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I'm gonna give it a look. I'm unsure if it's just episode 1 that's dropping on PS Plus because I think it's episode 1 comes out this month and then episode 2 is in the middle of April or something like that. So I'm unsure if the full game is coming to PS Plus or if it's just, hey, we'll give you the first taste and you got to buy the second. I'm unsure.
Yeah.
Which would be a good strategy, I guess, from a sales perspective.
I mean, or a drug dealer perspective, right? You just get the first taste for free and then you're hooked.
Man, that's it.
That's right.
So I don't know. I may be in on that. We'll see. It's certainly not something I'm rushing to play on the 18th. I've got Avowed coming out that day, so that's my main focus for next week.
Yeah.
But have you played Patapon? I guess Patapon 3 is coming to the Classics
I
catalog.
think I might have played it back on the PSP. Was it on the PSP?
I
feel like
think
it was on
so.
one of those old handhelds, either that
Yeah.
or the PSP Go or one of those. I played a little bit of it, but I don't really remember it. So I don't know. I've heard people that it's got a cult following, right? A lot of people
does.
like it,
Yeah.
and I
I
don't
might
really
give it a
know the
try.
premise. I think it has something to do with drums, from what I remember.
Yeah,
And
I'm
it's
not too
maybe
sure.
kind of a rhythm kind of
Something.
game. I'm not sure,
Yeah, me either.
but
It looked interesting.
I'll check it out.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
So Tides of Annihilation, third person, another sword game. This one is fast moving.
I thought this looked like the PlayStation version of Bayonetta.
Yes, for sure. This is definitely an action game. A lot going on. It looked maybe a little bit rough around the edges here and there, but maybe because it was still in the works. I don't know if it told us a release date at all. I didn't have anything written down on that. I could be totally wrong.
I don't have anything either.
But this is a wait and see game for me. It looks like it has potential. It looks super stylish. The voice acting seemed like it was going to be really good, but I just need to see more.
Right. Cool. What else you got? I've only got one left that I was interested in.
Yeah, I'm assuming I know which one that is, but I will say quickly, and I don't think it's this one, but tell me if it is. So Mind's Eye, the second to last
That's it.
game. Yeah,
That's the one.
okay. Awesome. All right.
Yeah.
So how about you tell me about Mind's Eye? Because I will only have one more after you.
I've got Tech Gone Rogue is what I wrote down. Looks amazing. Action adventure.
Nice.
So, that's where the guy gets the chip and he's like, "What's going on?" Trying to remember his past, and the people are out to get him, and he's like, almost like a Terminator kind of thing vibe, and he's got to figure out what's going on. Yeah, fight the system, fight the man, and restore his memories. Can't wait, man! It looks and the graphics looked cool. Yeah. It looked really fun.
Like driving for some reason, like they were mixing that in.
It had had some Grand Theft Auto vibes there, with a lot of driving and popping out of the car and shooting, and that looked
third person. Yeah, cover combat. It's almost like reminded me a little bit of an Uncharted type of gameplay and whatnot. So it looks cool.
Yeah.
So the more I saw of this, the more I liked it. At first, I was like, oh, this is a cool premise. Like, if this was a movie, I would watch this. I'm like, I don't know if I want to play this game. And then I saw more and more, and I'm like, all right, I think I'm in on this one. Summer 2025, so right around the corner. So if it doesn't come out the same week as Lies of P Overture, I'll probably be playing this.
Yeah, I'll play it.
Yeah, sweet, awesome. So the last one obviously was the final game that they showed was Saros, a new game from Housemarque. So same people that did Returnal, which Returnal I need to get back to. I played maybe for like an hour or two, and I wasn't very good at it. But it was a really cool premise, kind of roguelike type of game. I just sucked at it, so I moved on. I had too much to play at that point in time, but I do want to go back. This is a 2026 game, and I'm excited that at least PlayStation first party showed up here with something that wasn't a remake or a remaster. Like we said at the top, right? I don't think I was super expecting anything in particular from Sony. Maybe a little bit of something, maybe Ghost of Yotei. And I'm actually glad we got something else, right? I think there's been so much conjecture around this, free to play or games as a service stuff and whatever. And we haven't really seen a lot of that traditional Sony first party magic that they can bring. And at least we know something else is in the pipeline. It's not coming soon, but something else is coming, which I think is good to kind of help lay out that roadmap that they don't have right now.
Something else is always coming, Hambone. We just don't know what it is, right? There's always video games coming out, and we don't really know much about what this is. The only thing I could gather from it is that it's Rogue, right? I come back stronger every time. Every time I die, I come back stronger. That's just the premise, right?
Yeah, they didn't really show very much, but they did say it builds on Returnal. So if they're building on Returnal, it's third person shooter type gameplay where you're gonna get power ups, and I think it's gonna be probably a rogue like, not rogue, rogue light, whatever. You're gonna maintain your upgrades run after run is I think what they're trying to tell us, but.
Nice.
Yeah, man. So I know we skipped over a bunch of stuff that we didn't care about, but that was essentially the state of play.
That's it.
Anything shocking that you saw? Any sort of like wow moments for you outside of the octopus?
The octopus was the wow moment for me. It was like they had read my mind and said, "This is the game for Kevin. It's an octopus. He changes colors and shoots ink." I said, "Wow."
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah, that was it. What about you? Oh, you know what else I said wow about? Dave the Diver, man. That game is I wanted to love it because once again, it has water and fish and sea life. But there's just so much going on in that game. When I played it, I didn't enjoy the loop. So they kept going. So my wow moment there was they're still making stuff for this game.
Yeah, man.
But yeah,
it's crazy, dude. Like, I played Dave the Diver, and you're right. There's a lot of different components to that game, and I don't think any of the components are like super fun in of themselves, but I think it's the combination of everything and the loop that'll get you. And if the loop doesn't hook you in, then it's kind of like, you kind of move on. But that was surprising to see, for sure. But yeah, my shock, right, was Lies of P DLC. I was like, oh man.
Yeah.
Like I love to see it. Good stuff. Wasn't expecting to.
I'm excited for you.
Thanks, man. I'm gonna be chatting you guys' ears off around that one. So
Oh
get
yeah,
ready.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
from your perspective, anything that was missing that you were hoping to see?
Um, I knew they weren't going to come with any of the Naughty Dog stuff. I wasn't expecting that. Like I said, I kept my expectations low. I really wish they would have. I'm a sucker for VR, but that's just I know that they're not gonna hit me with that. So I wish that would have happened, but it didn't.
Yeah, that's a good point. I already mentioned Ghost of Yote, right? So it didn't show up. That's all right. We know it's coming. Um, I guess the other thing that I did like that I heard is that was it Borderlands 4? They said that there is another state of play coming that's going to focus. I don't know if it's purely on Borderlands 4 or if that's going to be
I think
part
that's
of
what they
something
said.
else. But for sure, there's another state of play coming in spring. Knock on wood, it's not just Borderlands 4 because I don't really care about that. Um, but who knows? We might be here in another few months to chat about something else that hopefully isn't
Yeah,
Borderlands. But
yeah,
yeah, man, I think that's all we've got for tonight. Kev,
that's
anything else
it.
from your side, man?
No way, man. We're just gonna keep gaming and keep playing, and thank goodness they keep releasing video games, right?
That's it, brother. All right, man. I think with that, we'll sign off and we'll catch you guys next time. Peace.
Adios.